What are the best mobile Metroidvania games? And what the heck is Metroidvania in the first place? Is it even a word? Even if you haven't heard of the genre before, you might know the two iconic game series that defined its core aspects, Metroid and Castlevania. Basically, these are action platformer RPGs with large open worlds to explore, lots of deadly traps to avoid, valuable loot to collect, and hordes of enemies to kill. And of course, there are always key items or skills that empower your characters and allow them to reach previously inaccessible places. Today, we're counting down the 16 best Metroidvania games for mobile in 2025. Games that prove you don't need a console to experience true adventure. Castlevania Symphony of the Night is a great port of an iconic genre-defining action platformer where we explore Dracula's castle by fighting its many bloodthirsty inhabitants and struggling through deadly traps. At our disposal is a wide variety of weapons and combat skills, but most of all, quick reflexes and sharp wit. The game is rather difficult and unforgiving. I wasn't able to play it effectively with touch controls. Prince of Persia: Lost Crown is a well-crafted port of a highly acclaimed Metroidvania action-adventure game from a AAA studio, not marred by ads or microtransactions. In this 2.5D side-scrolling platformer, you assume the role of Sargon, a skilled Persian warrior, who ventures on a perilous journey in a world where time itself is distorted, adding layers of mystery and challenge to the adventure. In case you're wondering, this is a fully voiced, nicely animated, 30-hour-long immersive adventure with flashy visuals, fast-paced and diverse combat, and high-precision platforming sections. Not to mention the sheer enjoyment that comes from gradually exploring, finding secrets, defeating enemies, and learning new, mind-blowing skills. Afterimage has been recently ported to mobile, but I already see myself spending a lot of hours on it. It features a rich, colorful world with an intriguing story that is hard to follow at first. Lots of different weapons with interesting moves, multiple development paths, and many hidden secrets to uncover. If you don't mind the poorly comprehensible lore and the generic-looking enemies, this game maintains a high-quality standard and fits nicely into this list. Blasphemous is a hardcore, Souls-like Metroidvania side-scroller with an amazing art style, very unusual lore, role-playing elements, and a heavy focus on fast-paced combat and platforming challenges. It offers a rich, dark fantasy world with lots of atmospheric locations, unique enemies, and tough boss fights, most of which require quite some nerve to finally defeat. Despite its poorly comprehensible story, some questionable gameplay decisions, and uncomfortable touch controls, Blasphemous is one of the best representatives of the genre on mobile. I highly recommend finishing it at least once, especially if you have an external controller to play with. Tiny Dangerous Dungeons Remake is a remastered version of an old retro-inspired platformer called Tiny Dangerous Dungeons. This new version has updated visuals, refined gameplay mechanics, and even new locations to explore. It no longer looks like a Game Boy retro platformer, but demonstrates the same, if not a higher level of quality and attention to detail. The game is not overcomplicated mechanically and will appeal to a broad audience. It offers a well-balanced mix of exploration, puzzle solving, and challenging platforming sections, making it a great entry point for newcomers to the genre, while still providing enough depth to keep veteran players engaged. Elderand does not feature many weapons or cool combos, but it offers a large, dark world that is interesting to explore to find secrets and uncover lore. Even though its Souls-like combat is engaging on its own, I found it especially entertaining to use its wide variety of platforming moves to reach seemingly inaccessible places and gather all the valuable collectibles the game has in store for us. The game is nicely playable with the touch controls, but some specific builds benefit from being played with a controller. takes us on a futuristic journey across a desolate post-apocalyptic land in search of a missing relative. Our main weapon is a high-tech energy glove that is used not only to slash enemies, but also to grab onto remote objects. Overall, the game is more about tricky platforming and overcoming obstacles than sword fighting. But it does feature its fair share of combat, especially during the action-packed boss encounters. It is perfectly playable with the touch controls, but a controller definitely helps. Runic Curse is another Souls-like platforming action game that requires us to constantly mind our stamina meter and back away from the fight when it drops too low. We have only 4 weapons, but may equip them with elemental runes that significantly enrich the combat gameplay. Despite the mediocre graphics, the game features everything I love about a good Metroidvania, so it rightfully sits in this list of my favorite games in the genre. Nubs Adventure offers a significantly different take on the genre. No shooting or sword fighting, just a relaxing exploration of a cute fantasy world with lots of platforming challenges. We do, however, own a weapon, albeit a rather unconventional one, a boomerang. And we actually use it a lot for combat purposes, despite the peaceful impression that the game might give. It's a very entertaining game that is hard to put down until you've beaten all the challenges and found all the secrets. Toziuha Knight, Order of the Alchemists, draws its main inspiration from the Castlevania games, so if you are a fan of the series, you will be delighted by the great number of similarities. To name a few: a dark fantasy setting, a huge maze-like world to explore, diverse enemies and powerful bosses, a whip-wielding main character, and lots of unlockable skills that not only provide access to previously restricted areas, but also change the pacing of the combat. This game is an impressive achievement of a single developer who tried to recreate the best features the genre is famous for. Even though Toziuha Knight may be a bit rough around the edges, I still highly recommend it to all Metroidvania fans. Dandara features a unique movement mechanic where instead of running and jumping, we dash between flat surfaces, including walls and ceilings, to avoid obstacles and shoot enemies. This unique gameplay is further reinforced thanks to the mind-bending level designs and frenetic fights that defy the laws of physics. Due to the tight controls, using a controller is highly advised, although some parts of the game are actually easier to beat with the touch controls. Teslagrad puts us in a dark dystopian world where we explore a mysterious scientific tower while hiding from representatives of a cruel totalitarian government. Here, we get hold of a power glove that allows us to utilize magnetic fields for various purposes. The game is heavy on the puzzle side, and solving some of them requires quite a lot of brain effort and many quick, precise movements. It doesn't play well without a controller. Super Mombo Quest is a colorful arcade-style precision platformer with Metroidvania elements, where you play as a strange purple creature that solves every problem using its enormous sticky tongue. The game offers a wide variety of challenging levels spread across multiple distinct biomes, with crystals to collect, enemies to defeat, and dangerous obstacles to traverse. You can navigate the levels freely and in any order, and defeating bosses unlocks new upgradable abilities that increase your combat prowess and grant access to previously restricted areas. While you constantly race against a timer, the game is manageable even with moderate skill, and it is incredibly satisfying to play even without an external controller. Overall, it provides one of the most memorable mobile experiences, suitable for platforming and Metroidvania fans alike.
An epic story featuring drama, conflicts, growth, and giant laser cats.
Traps and Gemstones is an old puzzle platformer that can't be classified as pure Metroidvania, but still has a number of genre-defining features. An open world with multiple exploration paths, ability gating, lots of backtracking in search of secrets and quest items, not to mention the sheer enjoyment of getting a new skill and immediately understanding all the areas that can now be accessed with its aid. It's a simple and rather short tale about an Indiana Jones-like explorer and his struggles against the dangers of an ancient Egyptian pyramid. Yet despite its simplicity, I found it hard to put down until it was finally finished. I don't consider Dead Cells to be a Metroidvania in the classic sense of the word, but I'm sure many will complain if I don't include it here. And to be fair, by my own definition at the top of this post, the game does live up to all the genre criteria. So here you have it. Dead Cells is easily one of the most beloved action platformers on mobile. It features lots of weapons with unique playstyles, extremely hardcore gameplay, tough enemies, and even tougher bosses. And above all, a roguelike mechanic that requires us to restart over and over, each time becoming slightly better thanks to the permanent upgrades. Vulture Island may not be a true Metroidvania in the classic sense either, but it stays true to the spirit of the genre. Because instead of exploring a large open world, the game has you visit several individual locations in any order you wish. Everything else is here too. Exploration, platforming challenges, respawning enemies, powerful bosses, handy items and special powers that unlock access to previously unreachable places, and above all, an intriguing storyline. You can even freely switch between 3 different characters, each with their own goals and means of achieving them. It's a truly unique game that all platformer fans should try. So there you have it. 16 amazing Metroidvania experiences you can play right now on your mobile. Which one will you dive into first? Drop your favorites in the comments below, smash that like button, and subscribe for more top game lists every week.